Hello, this is Abel Velez with Group Colon 3. I'm going to be going over some of the database functions and tables. Now, starting here, we have the user table, which describes every user's name, their password and email, and their user ID that's tied to their account, and the user ID that will be used as a foreign key in many of the other tables, starting with the cats table, where we would have the individual cats that people will eventually be able to search by. They're tied to the user that owns the cat. It shows the name, the breed, the age, and any other information we may wish to add in the future. Here we have the albums, which will contain pictures of an assortment. It can be of one cat or multiple cats, and because of our somewhat open design on the database, we will be able to change whether or not each album will be tied to the cat IDs inside it. Then here we have the posts, which will typically be pictures, each with a caption and the user ID of who created it, as well as the likes and comments on those posts. Each of those comments being an interaction, which the interactions themselves will also track their own likes and comments and the number foreign ID of the post that they are tied to. Here we have one of the functions we have of the database where we can search for the number of users and their cats and tie them together so we can observe that information ourselves. We similarly have a function that will let us collect the total of the different breeds of the different cats on the database. Here, we have a function that'll help us keep track of the likes as they're added in through the UI. And over here, we also have another function that is the basis of our search features, where we will be able to search by different terms. In this case, it is the breed, where we find any posts with the breed that matches Bombay. It's written right there, and we can change that to be flexible to any cat names or cats of a certain age, anything we feel like adding later on.
Yeah. Thank you, Abel, for showing us how the app works and what we're gonna be doing with the app. Oh, it hasn't. Yeah, it started. So let's get into the actual website. So we. I'll edit the video.
So, the backbone of our app is a Python Flask backend where we just basically created this API to fetch posts, load posts, and also update any information such as the delete post function. And then our front end is written wholly in React using also vanilla CSS and using JSX4 markup.
Admins, we admins have our own account. Whiskers and Meow123. So as you saw earlier, this is our front end. We can have Diego talk about more of the front end.
Yeah, so we utilize individual post components to basically like standardize everything in the database from the captions to the users who posted, timestamps, and everything. So they're all their own little components in React that are fed info from our Flask backend that basically brings everything to our front end, and our front end renders everything onto the screen that we fetch from the backend. And from here, we have our pretty basic feed. You can scroll down. A lot of these posts don't have images yet, as those haven't been implemented in our database, but that is coming once we have the final product. We can also create posts, which brings up this little modal. So let's give it a title such as test post. If I could type properly. Hello. And then
Yes, we have cat photos. So go ahead and go down. Go down from here. And then you can pick any of these photos.
so let's pick this one of this cute little guy, Ollie, at the shelter.
And
Go ahead and publish that, and it updates our feed.
And as you can see, there are bugs. We're going to have to try to find a way to make it so that a post stays the same size as always. But of course, when developing, you will always see bugs.
And then we have a simple little hamburger menu with a little drop down for settings and logout. Let's talk about settings.
And then settings page was created by Reese, where we're going to have profiles and anything else.
Yeah, so settings page is just basic. You can set your profile picture. You can input you can update your information. So you can put your first name as Jim, and your last name is Pasca, and then you can change your username to, what should we change it to?
GB.
GB. Boy, GB. Update settings.
It's stored in state.
And it's just like stored in the state. It's like, I don't know. We keep it in the database.
And then we currently don't have a function to go back home, but we can just hit this back button. We're brought back to the feed. Here's the hamburger menu, and then log out.
And log out, you do have to.
on refresh, it brings you back to the login page. And that's it for the front end of this app.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Can we put like the like 2013 like